Hi everyone, my name's Andy Crown. I'm a senior account manager here at Los Angeles Property Management Group. Thanks for tuning in. Before we get started, I want to be clear, I'm not a licensed insurance professional and this video isn't meant to provide legal or insurance advice. Every situation is different and policies can vary widely, so I strongly recommend consulting with a licensed insurance agent or broker before making any decisions about your coverage. I'd like to share a few important insights from a property management perspective, specifically why landlord liability insurance is so essential and why most property managers, including us, require being listed as additional insured on your policy. Let's start with the basics. Landlord liability insurance protects you, the property owner, from financial loss if someone is injured on your property. For instance, a tenant slipping on a wet stairwell, or if you're held responsible for damage to someone else's property. That could be a tenant, a guest, a contractor, or even a neighbor. Without this kind of coverage, you're seriously exposed to financial risk. Even a relatively straightforward incident could result in legal fees, medical bills, or a settlement that quickly exceeds $300,000 or even $500,000. That's why I always recommend a minimum liability limit of $1 million. It's not about worst-case scenario thinking. It's about aligning your coverage with today's legal and medical costs. There are plenty of real-world case studies where a lower limit simply wasn't enough to cover damages. $1 million is a more realistic baseline for protecting your investment. Now let's talk about why your property manager needs to be listed as additional insured on your policy. This is a standard requirement we and most other professional management companies have. And here's why. As your manager, we're acting on your behalf in nearly every aspect of the rental relationship, from leasing and maintenance to communication and compliance. If something goes wrong and a lawsuit is filed, it's not uncommon for both the property owner as well as the property manager to be named in the claim, even if we didn't directly cause the issue. Being named as additional insured doesn't reduce or change your coverage. It simply extends the same liability protection to your manager when we're performing duties on your behalf. Most of the time, adding a management company as additional insured doesn't even increase your premium. And here's the honest reality. We work hard to operate responsibly and protect everyone involved. It wouldn't be financially feasible or fair for us to take on liability for every property we manage on behalf of our clients. These are your assets, and that liability should rest with the property owner, not with the service provider hired to help oversee it. Real estate is a great investment, but it's not typically considered a low-risk one. It makes sense for the property owner to assume the liability, or more accurately, the cost of insuring against that liability. Because in a management relationship, owners are receiving roughly 95% of the gross revenue. From a business and investment standpoint, it simply wouldn't be financially feasible for a property manager to take on that level of liability while earning roughly 5% of that revenue. Adding your manager as additional insured means we're both protected under the same policy, legal defense is coordinated and consistent, and there's less room for confusion or conflict during a claim. Now, a quick but important clarification. We sometimes see confusion between additional interest and additional insured. Additional interest just means we receive policy updates or renewal notices, but it doesn't inherently extend coverage to our company. Additionally insured actually protects us in the event of a liability claim. So just being listed as an interested party isn't enough. It must clearly state additional insured in the documentation. There are some exceptions to this rule, such as policies that have written-in clauses stating that property managers are automatically covered by the policy. Some policies list managers as additional interest, but then also notate the interest type is additionally insured. To wrap everything up, having strong landlord liability insurance, ideally with at least $1 million in coverage, and properly listing your property manager as additional insured protects everyone involved and helps ensure smoother handling if something unexpected happens. If you're not sure whether your current policy meets these standards, I encourage you to speak with your insurance provider, or feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help clarify what's needed or share sample language for you to share with your agent. Thanks for watching and for taking the time to protect your property the right way.